let's explore the AI part before actually jumping into the cloud and all kind of stuff, right? Let's first of all understanding it up, exploring the respective AI. When it comes to guys the AI, the artificial intelligence, right? The name by itself is telling up what it is. It means, right, Saurabh? Okay, we can say that. Okay, perfect, Sumit. Right? As you guys rightly mentioned up, it's like a machine which can think, right? You have trained that particular machine into many different models or different scenarios, and you have given it a way to think. So it's now able to think and process and give you a respective response up. That's in short is an AI is a machine which can think and take the decision, right? That's what it is all about. Okay, so this is what it is all, right? Okay. So is there any AI model which you guys are using up a lot in your day-to-day activity? I hope everyone has heard about ChatGPT, right? Very good. Correct. Okay. There are a lot of them. There is ChatGPT is there into the market, which was, I would say, the pioneer, which came at the end of the 2022. Then we were having a Copilot, right, from the Microsoft. Correct. Gemini. Perfect. Correct, Sumit. Okay. There is Flexity as well. There are a lot of different models nowadays in today's world. Fine. Okay. So those are the different AI models. Now there is a difference. There is a kind of a comparison. Correct, Sumit, right? Perplexity as well, right? Okay. And there is kind of a fight going on to dominate this respective market. Okay. Now here comes the thing. There is certain terms which we need to be aware about when it comes to the respective AI part. So in the AI part, we are looking into it up, and AI will definitely for sure will help us in improving the security posture of our respective organization because we in the cloud we use it up as well. I can do what, let's suppose for example I tell you that how does the AI really help you in particularly in the cloud domain. Let's suppose for example you have an AWS, right? And now what you do is that instead of looking and finding the vulnerabilities by yourself, what you do is that there is an AI agent, right? Service pre-built. You do not need to train anything. It is already built up in place, which is continuously being improved by the Amazon, the AWS. You just put up a query, a simple basic query. It goes to your entire AWS account, scans it, and give you the thing what you're looking for. It makes your life a lot easier. I'm going to show it to you as well in today's session as well. Fine. Simple, free of cost. You're not charged at all for that. That's the thing. Correct. And I would say it's still pretty new technology, but it's doing very good. Correct. That kind of thing. So this is what we have into the AI part, and it makes it a lot easier. It reduces the burden upon you, right? Okay. So this is what we have guys into the AI part. Now, here are certain terms which we need to understand: machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. Okay. So, can anyone just go ahead and explain it to me, first of all, that what these things are all about? Machine learning, deep learning, and the generative AI. Machine learning, you can think about, is kind of a subset of artificial intelligence only, right? Where your respective systems learn from the respective pattern of the data and make the decision without being explicitly programmed up in place. Okay, so it learns from the different kind of patterns up in place, right? So let's suppose, for example, you feed that software, the ML, with data and the labels up in place. Okay, and the system, that ML system, learn from the respective relationship and start to predict it up in place. Okay, that kind of things. So this is what the machine learning is all about. Let's suppose, for example, I give you an example. Absolutely correct, Sumit. Perfectly. Very good. Right? So, guys, do we use the ML in today's world? Where we use the ML? What do you say? In a very layman language, not Chat GPT, not your Gemini or Perplexity. So, let's suppose, for example, if I send you a spam message in your respective exact Sumit, you got the point. Correct, right? Let's suppose, for example, I send you a spam message into the Gmail. How does the Gmail automatically, you do not know that, right? Automatically comes to know that, okay, this looks a spam, and it sends it to that, it just does not deletes it, right? It puts to the spam folder up in place. Okay, because Gmail, the Google in itself know that the model is not so accurate, right? There is a possibility that sometime what actually happens up as well, like it happens with us as well in the InfosecTrain, that whenever we provide you the respective recording of the session, guys, sometime the Gmail really thinks that okay, this looks like a spam. It's very rare, but it happens up right once in our 10-20 clients up in place. So we request to them that okay, if you're not finding in your respective Gmail inbox, go to your spam folder, and there is a probability that you will be able to find there. And sometimes that's true, right? So there is a false alert is there, but in the majority cases, it's still really good, correct? So it finds out that okay, there is a spam, and automatically it's move it to the respective spam folder. That is very good. I would say the accuracy is almost 95%. And as the days goes by, and we keep on investing more and more into it, it will be even better, correct? That's what it is all about, right? So you have, so who trained that particular Gmail? That's the Google who did that. Okay, and they keep on improving it, they keep on training it up. It means that the Gmail, the training means that they have already provided to the Gmail, that email, this is how the spam message really looks like. Okay, it's like teaching a kid how to read and write. Exactly, you take a Gmail like a software and tell it how does an actual spam really looks like. Once the Gmail understands that, now onwards, any one of you, there is an in your respective email address, there is a spam message, it will automatically detect that and immediately would be transferring into the spam folder. And it really helpful for us. Someone who is not from the security background, it's really helpful for him. Okay, that's the thing. So this is what it is. It's a machine learning. You're teaching it up in piece, and it understands through the patterns and those kind of things. Okay. Then we have another one which is called by the name of a deep learning. The self-learning car. How does really a self-driving car really works up in place? It collects your respective. So deep learning means that it is many layers are there, right? It is understanding it up, like as you rightly mentioned up in place. It means that in this respective case, in the deep learning part, it is a network is there, right? It's automatically learning complex feature, right? So you're injecting more complex data into it, and it is learning that thing up in place, right? That's what we have into the deep learning part. It is making the connections like this, like a human brain does. So we have the like a self-driving cars up in place. Self-driving cars, when they are driving it in your respective normal traffic, they are kind of analyzing a lot of things at the same time and making the connections as well. Okay, let's suppose, for example, they come across a respective another vehicle. They just kind of calculate that okay, another vehicle is kind of very rapidly approaching them up. So based upon the model that is trained up in place, what will they will do? They will try to, if it is possible, if there is a time duration, they will calculate that. They will try to divert from the trajectory. If not, they will try themselves. They will be prepared for the airbag deployment and all this kind of stuff up in place. Okay, and for the emergency call to the respective local authorities. So that's what you have into the deep learning. You are teaching that particular machine everything possible up in place. And that is exactly where the machine becomes very close to a human brain. Okay. It start making the connections up in place, right? And it start making the more complicated decisions up, right? So complicated, like I just told you an example of where it takes a decision which can impact someone's life, correct? That's what we have into this thing which is called the deep learning part, correct? Where it's able to perform even more and more complex calculations, correct? And then we have another one which is called by the name of a generative AI. Again, this generative AI part that you're seeing it up, guys, this is also part of your respective machine learning, right? And in this respective case, if you break it down, you are just saying to the machine that, okay, machine, give me an image. So I remember that like just 2 to 3 months back, everyone over the internet was taking their respective photos and putting into the chat GPT and saying it up that, that anime was there in place, correct? Just make it in the form of a cartoon up. Fine. Okay. Ghibli, correct? So how it was even possible? That was possible through the generative AI. Okay, it already has some data, some things into it. You're putting your own images, and based upon that particular images database it has in place, it is converting your images as well, which was not secure at all. So generative AI is kind of an AI where you put up a respective prompt, and what it does is that it generates an image, text, those kind of things up in place. Correct? So this is what we have into the respective uh, generative AI part, right? Which is eventually a part of your ML only, eventually. Okay, that's the thing. Like we have all heard about Mid Journey, okay, which is there for generating up the images up in place. You put up the respective prompt, and it creates an image. There is Dell E as well, okay. There is GitHub Copilot, which creates the respective code. So that's the thing. Exactly, Suman. Correct. Okay. So these all these things are very connected with each other. Where generative AI, you give a respective prompt, it gives you an image, something like that in place, right? Deep learning means the complex calculations which can perform up in place. Okay, fine, those kind of things it can do it. And machine learning is means that it's you teach it something to the respective machine, and once it's kind of okay with it, then you can hand it over to the respective client, and they will be helpful for them. So this is kind of an overview of these respective things. Fine. Now let's talk about the different kind of ecosystems we have into the respective AI part. The first one is, guys, the open AI. Chat GPT is the product, because I see many people not aware about it, that Chat GPT is the product of open AI. Okay, great. So anytime you make a respective response or query to the chat GPT, right, in your respective system, in your local machine, it eventually goes to the respective OpenAI servers in this US right now. Correct? It get processed there, and OpenAI is using up the NVIDIA chip. So it will be getting processed there, and then you will be getting a respective response back. Fine. That's what we have in this case, the OpenAI. Okay, very famous product. It has the Chat GPT, which we can say it's like a pioneer into this particular field of AI. Okay, great. And a lot of things it can do, but it's not so perfect, because are you aware about there is a term we have which is called hallucination of the AI model? Do you know what that is all about? You will not very easily see it, I would say that, right? Because nowadays the AI models are trained very well, okay? But if you little bit push their respective limit, you will start to see that kind of a thing that it's still existing. What actually happens up is that, guys, these models are not made to say that I don't know. Very rarely you come across these AI models where they say that I have no information about it, right? Even if you ask for something which even does not exist, right, they still give you the answer. I was working on one of the project in the AWS, and it asked the chat GPT for a little bit of a help. So yeah, so I was working on one of the respective project into the AWS, and I was looking for some kind of logs, right? I was not able to find it out. So I opened up the chat GPT and entered that respective prompt, stating up, this is my respective situation. I'm not able to find the actual logs of this respective server. Help me out with that. In that respective case, a chat GPT took a while and then said to me that, okay, these are the configuration, these are the settings, or this is a service that you need to go, and your problem will be resolved. So I thought that, okay, fine, wow, good, right? This is really great. So then what I did is that I literally struggled for 2 hours for what it has provided to me. And after 2 hours, I really come to the point that, man, this is completely hallucinations providing a me and place, right? So because it was giving me step by step configuration for my respective problem with so confidence that it will resolve the issue. But when you actually start performing that particular practical in your respective environment, you come to know that this thing does not even really exist. Correct? Those kind of things. So that's what we have into this respective hallucination part. And yes, AI models hallucinates up as well. okay, where they are not designed for any kind of, they never say that we don't know anything. So in that particular situation, they do the mistake. Even if you ask for something they don't aware about, but they will still reply for it, right? And that is a big problem. Okay, so we have the OpenAI in this respective case. Fine. Okay, Del E was also the part of this OpenAI part. Fine. Now let's move to the another one. It's called by the name of a TensorFlow. So what it does is that it helps your respective models learn from the respective data. Okay, great. So this is it does up in place. It gives data like image or text up in place, and yeah, it means like it is helpful in training your respective different kind of models, and it's from the Google. Correct? Okay. So it provides tool to create neural network for tasks like image recognition, speech processing, predictive analysis, those kind of things, right? So you can use it to train your respective models up in place, and it's open source from the Google. Okay. Then we have another one which is called by the name of PyTorch. Now this is from the Meta, and it's almost the same thing. Correct? Okay. It's open source for deep learning, right? And it's from your respective Meta. The previous one, the one, this was from Google, and this is from a respective Meta up in place. Okay, great. And then comes this another very interesting one, which is called by the name of a Hugging Face. How many of you have heard about it, guys? The Hugging Face part. So different AI models are there. Some for AI processing, some for video, some for text. A lot of there are there, right? So you have a library. You have a lot of collections of the AI models as per the respective demand, and then you can use those things to fulfill your respective requirement. Correct? That's what we have into this respective case. Okay, so let's go and let's see it up. Let me show it to you. Let me just open up the respective page. And then there is something which is called LM Studio. Let me show it to you, which I will be using it up, because this is just a library. If you want to use those respective model, you need to run it up in your local machine. So let me show it to you where I will be running it up. It is called LM Studio. This is how it really looks like. If I'm showing it to you, just a minute. This is how it really looks like, correct? So now in this respective case, what I will be doing it up as well, I will be going for the respective model that is present in Hugging Face, right? Because it is a library, and there by itself, I will come here, install that respective model in my local machine that will be literally eating up the my RAM, my GPU, and all kind of stuff, correct? And that particular model would be running in my local machine up in place. So let me see that can I find any kind of a working model. Okay, and sometimes there could be configurations as error as well that can come up, right? Okay, let's see that. First of all, let's go to the this Hugging Face. Just a minute. I will come to take you to the respective software. Let's suppose first of all, let's go to the Hugging Face, right? And everything is free, of course. You're not charged anything for whatever I do, right? Just a minute. Okay, so guys, just a minute. Let me share my respective screen, and here I am. Here we are. This is the Hugging Face. Pretty straightforward. I just typed the Hugging Face into the browser, and here I am, correct? And if I just click into the models part, right, not the data set, anything like that, just the models into it. And here you see that different kind of models you are having it up here. Okay. For text generation, any image to text, image to text up in place, image to image, fine, image to speech. So different categories you have in place, right, in this respective one. You see that almost right now how many models are showing it to me, right? It's almost like I would say correct. Okay, so see different models you have here by itself that are already present there, right? As per your respective demand. Okay. Now here by itself you can pick any of the model and you can now deploy it up in your local machine. You're not deploying it up in any OpenAI server, anything like that, right? That's the case. Okay, so let me just I would say here by itself. See, this is the app I will be using, LM Studio. So I would be there is a kind of a model from the Google. Let's test that. So I would say that something like Google is there. Right, if I put it up here, okay, it's not showing. I think they have removed it or what? Because now another big problem here is that anyone can publish. So what I have came across is that it's very good platform, but sometime the publishment, let's suppose there are college kids as well, okay, and they are learning up the ML part in place. So if they are learning into it and that model is not fully trained, it has a lot of bugs and the issues, they, even if it's completely incomplete, they still deploy it up here as well, right? So you will face that kind of an issues. Yes, that's sometime multiple models that you will be selecting up will not be working up. Okay, that kind of thing. So let's suppose, for example, if I'm looking for any kind of for I would say text generation, right? These are the models are there in place, right? Okay, it's kind of signing up. Okay, fine. Then there is like Minimac AI is there, okay, which you can use it up in place to build for Max Code and agentic flow up in place. So these are the kind of things. So you can go back to your respective this thing. Now here comes this part. Here comes this respective software which is called LM Studio. Again, it's free of cost. You can literally go over the internet and search it out, right? Okay. Again, because AI is still an evolving field, things you will face the bugs and the issues here and there in place, right? So I've randomly selected up this mini mix up in place. Let's see that is it possible here. I'm able to find it out. So I just go it up here in the search bar. I will type it up here. What that is? Let's see. Can I find it? So you put it into the search bar and type. Now you're finding it up. Minimax. So here by itself, now this is it, right? Minimax, it's able to find it out. But there is a problem, guys. If you look into it, it's saying to me that it's likely too large. And if I look into it, it will take 56 GB, right? This entire model set will be literally installed in my local machine. And 56 GB download will take a huge amount of storage and bandwidth, and it will take a lot of time. Okay, but I'm telling you that in your respective free time, guys, when you are, uh, not having any kind of work up in place, you can test it out. Correct? So note it down this respective software and all this kind of configuration. I'm showing it to you. In your free time, you can perform it up your over your local machines up in place. There, right? You can play with it. Okay. Instead of finding them up, what I will do is that I put up here Google. Okay. And there comes across three models up in place. Gamma 3N E48, 27B, 12B. Okay. This is of 4 GB. This is of 16 GB, and these are different models up in place. Okay, they run up in your local machine, and it's of 8 GB up. I would like to go with a much more simpler one, 4 GB one, correct? And what it does is that it's Gamma 3 and is a multi-model generative AI model optimized for user and everyday devices, phone, laptops up in place. Okay, that's the thing. So yeah, it will help me like up in place. Or okay, another are there others as well? Just a minute. Yeah, fine. I think so. This 3 GB one would do the job, right? This is Gamma 3AB, state of art image text input models. Let's see that how stable and what kind of things it is up in place, right? Okay, perfect. So let's install it. Now this is going to install in my respective local machine, correct? Okay, and it's going to take a while, guys. In the meantime, if you have any doubt, any question, please let me know, right? And then we will be seeing it up that is this model really works, because right now we are just randomly installing it up, right? Then after a while, we'll come to know it that is it really working it or not, right? That's the case. Okay. And you see that this is even much smaller kind of a I have model, which is of only 720 MB. But what that means, this is entire data set you're having it up in place, right? The smaller it is means that this ML, this machine is kind of trained at a very small data set, right? It has very small database. Okay, great. It means smaller brain. It means it cannot be assigned a very complicated task. Fine, that's the thing, right? And what it can do is that quantitation aware training videos, images up in place, built from same search and text is to get the Gemini model. Okay, fine. But it will be giving me a kind of a coding input. So I don't want that. Okay, let's see that how this is going on. Okay, I think it's done. Use into the chat. Okay, it fails, right? So they see this is a kind of problem I told you up in place, right? It can happen. I fail to load the respective model. Fine. Let me just test it out any other model if I'm having it up right now. Okay, your local models will be showing up here, so I don't have it right now, which it failed up. Okay, sorry, one is already going on right now, but it will take a time for me. And this is my respective search history. So this is the case, right? And it's taking a lot of time to install it up in my respective local machine where I can perform the respective task. So they are, so you will find across multiple tools up in place here, which are not fine tuned, and sometimes configurations errors could be there as well. Okay, perfect. And here is another model which I was showing it to you that from this respective Hugging Face was there. If you're following up this respective news of the AI and the ML, what's going on in this respective industry. So what was it all about, guys? I would say to the NVIDIA as well as to the respective chat GPT, okay? Because it's actually an AI model you can think about. NVIDIA is a hardware part. NVIDIA is supporting the AI race from the hardware perspective because they're providing the GPU, right, over which the AI models is, it needs up in place. So it's kind of a very much of a big competition in the context of the chat GPT. So OpenAI chat GPT, it was able to bypass it. Fine, that kind of thing. So this is what we have into the respective DeepSeek. You can play with this as well, right? You can just go into it and in your respective LM studio, you can find it. But keep in mind that this will be having a humongous database because I have not used it up, right? But because it was very good from the respective report, so it looks like it will be a humongous file, humongous database that you will be installing into your respective local machine over which this LLM would be running it up. Correct? That kind of things are there. So model size 3p params, right? So it's going to be huge. But from accuracy point of view, I have heard a lot of articles about it. I've seen it up that it was pretty fine. Okay, great. And with lesser hardware configuration, it was even able to beat the ChatGPT. That's the reason it's Vishal has rightly mentioned up China innovation. Because in normal circumstances, whenever you put up any kind of a query, it goes to your OpenAI ChatGPT. ChatGPT need that simple configuration, the simple thing that you're asking it up in place. It needs very high hardware configuration to give you any kind of a result, right? But these deep six was perfectly able to run over a very low hardware part and still giving a much more accurate result. So that was a very good competitor, right, to the chat GPT. Okay. That we even not as advanced hardware like NVIDIA, with a very basic CPU utilization and basic RAM, it was able to give much better alternative and much better result as compared to the chat GPT. Okay. Exactly, correct. In lesser time, perfect, right? So if a company is there and they have a choice to choose between chat GPT and the DeepSeek, they will choose the DeepSeek because it will take less, I would say, resources as well as less investment you have to make into the hardware part for this to run. But with for chat GPT, you have to first of all make $1 billion commitment, right? Then you will be getting up chips from the NVIDIA, which are very, very expensive. And then the US is making the restrictions upon them as well. Okay. So lots of thing going on. But here by itself, like this DeepSeek, someone I would say I have seen it over the internet was able to run into your respective, I would say, your local servers up as well, right? Very easily, right? So this is the case. Okay. So these are the ones, and you can just play with these respective resources, but please be very careful about the size and these kind of things. Okay. Yeah. And they run it up your respective local machine. Right now, in my respective machine, if I open and show it to you, my task manager right now, this is what is going on. Everything is looking perfectly. If my CPU is good, my memory is good because that particular model is right now getting downloaded. Right? You see that it's getting downloaded. The moment it gets downloaded completely, right, and start running it up, it will start eating my respective GPU up in place. This NVIDIA GPU I have in place, it will start eating it up. Okay, a lot. So that's the thing. Great. So this is what we are having it up, guys, in this respective part. Hope you got up a little bit of an idea about it. Okay. Now, I would say that what is the role of this respective AI when it comes to the cloud part, right? We get a very little bit of a sense of an overview about the AI. Now let's talk about AI in the cloud. What are the benefits we'll be getting it up? What do you think, guys? What kind of benefits we can get up when you look for AI in the cloud? Like if I just tell you that, normally in if you go into the cloud infrastructure, there you have to do everything by yourself. You have to create the servers, create the infrastructure by yourself. But with the chat or with the AI, I can write a respective simple prompt and it will be going it up. I'm going to show it to you in a moment, right? Just hold on. I'm going to show it to you that I write a very simple prompt and the AI model would be going to my AWS account, not the AWS infrastructure, right? It's not like it will be scanning the entire infrastructure. No, I will be getting up results specifically customized for my account, right? And that's very very helpful, right? Okay, so this kind of thing. So I would say that some of the points we have is like intelligent monitoring would be the one we are going to see that in a moment. Okay, we will be seeing it up like predictive scaling and resource optimization, like where to use the resource, where the use resource are being utilized and where not. So let's suppose an AI model is there and it will say to me that okay, Amit, you have a server running it up in India, and that respective server is most of the time 90% it's been utilized up in place. So you should do what is that you should upgrade that respective server. Okay, but on the another hand, you have a server running it up in Japan, and that server is very rarely even touches 50% of its respective capabilities. So drag down it up in place, right? Why you have deployed so big server there, right, which in the entire year very rarely even touches the 50%. So I would say perform the just decrease the capacity of it. That will save you the cost. Correct. It will also help me in incident response as well, finding the incidents and kind of dealing with them. Okay, that kind of things. On automation, we just mentioned up in place, governance, data management. Okay, that's kind of thing. So these are some of the benefits we will be getting it up here by itself, right? There is a thing which is called by the name of PII, character scalability. Exactly. That's the example I just mentioned to you, right? Okay. There's a kind of a thing, guys, which is called by the name of PII, personal identifier information. You can, I would say that, the HIPAA and the PCI DSS, man, that would be a compliance part. Okay. And definitely, when you look into the complaint, it talks about PII and PHI, right? But PII in itself is information about a respective human being that you can, if you follow that particular piece of information, you can literally track down a person. That's the thing. Okay, and it's a very dangerous thing. So you have to protect it at any cost. Like in India, if you are anyone is from India, there is, I would say, we have an Aadhaar card, correct? That falls under the PII. We have PAN card, which deals with our all financial information, like if you want to create up a credit card or take up a loan or make up, income tax return, anything like that. You have to have your respective PAN card for that, right? So if let's suppose, for example, my PAN card information is leaked by my bank or anyone else, a third party, right? In that particular case, the hacker or any one of you, right, whoever gets the respective piece of information, would we know that okay, what does Amit Civil score is there, correct? How many credit card he holds? He has been a defaulter or he's about to become a defaulter or not, right? Okay, how many loan he has taken up in place, how much is monthly EMI he is paying it up, every kind of financial information you will be getting it up about me, right? My current financial status you will be getting it about me, and that's not a good thing up, please, right? Because then what actually happens up is that instead of uh, improving the things, scammers utilize that particular piece of information to scam you even further. Fine, this is the case. Okay, so there are some of the benefits up in place. Let me show it to you one of the mechanism. So here by itself, I just go it up into the AWS environment. This is guys my respect. Okay, sorry. This is my respective AWS environment. Fine. If someone has never been into the AWS or haven't used it up, okay. Uh, this is it. This is how it really looks like. In my particular case, this is my account, and I'm right now in a region which is called North Virginia. Okay. Is there anyone on this session who has ever worked with the AI platform? Oh, sorry, the AWS platform, AWS or the Azure or the GCP? Anyone of it? Okay. You can. Perfect. Great. Okay. Let me show you to something here. In this respective part, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go and I'm going to so sorry guys, I'm going to ask this if we have a model here, right? Like normally we have the Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT. Here we have another models up in place. I will ask that particular model that do I have an EC2 instance running it up? EC2 instance, in short, if someone is not aware about it, means the server. In the AWS, an instance is called the server. They have just a fancy name, they have given it up, nothing else. Otherwise, it's a normal server where you have a defined operating system like Linux, Windows, Mac, Ubuntu, whatever you want, right? Hardware configuration, define it up, a little bit about networking, and you're good to go with that, correct? So, a server in layman's language, just keep in mind. So, here by itself, our server is called the instance, okay? Just keep in mind, right? So, when I will say to it that how many instances are running it up in my entire AWS account, tell me that. Right now, I go to it. So, here it is. It's called Amazon Q. You see that at the top? I hope everyone is able to see it. Let me zoom into it. Amazon Q. Fine. I click into it and it's open up on the side and I will be asking a respective question. It's going to take up time. Okay, ask me anything about the AWS. Okay, let's test it up. And I would say it's not so accurate, right? To be very frank with you, even I've been extensively using up the cloud part in place, but still I use this with precaution. Fine. It's not good as your respective chat GPT or the OpenAI. That is the reason I would say Amazon was pioneer in the cloud technology. They were the first in the world which make the cloud technology public, right? And they are the leaders today by itself. But when it comes to this AI race, they left behind, right? That is the reason. If you have heard the news recently, Amazon has a, I think, 30 billion kind of a deal with Nvidia, right? I just uh, saw the headline, not the full article, like I think yesterday. Okay, something like this going on. So they are kind of a then contract, talking with Nvidia's up in place, like a 30 or 40 billions of deal up in place, right? Okay, to improve their AI models up in place, like this thing, like Amazon QUC up. So it's specific to my account only. It's not like I will ask him that, okay, tell me what is the capital of India, and it will be giving me a reply, like normally with ChatGPT 2. No, it's not. It will be telling me the information about my AWS resources, mostly. Like you guys mentioned of the monitoring part, correct? This is a perfect example. Instead of going, so keep in mind, see, in the AWS, we have more than 200 services, guys, right? If I want to go and have an idea about it, right, either I need to create that entire layout and setup and all kind of stuff, or I can just go it here in the Amazon queue and ask something for it. Okay, I'm saying it up, create instance. Okay, okay, let me just zoom into it so that you get an idea. Instance means server. Create instance in my respective North Virginia. North Virginia means your respective location. Region, we call it the region part, right? It's a concept of the AWS. So in region, in the US, I want that create a server in US. Okay. I understand you like to create up an EC2 instance in North Virginia, but I'm not able to directly create the resource in your account. So this is a limitation. It would be great if it would have done that, right? But it cannot. Okay, it's in itself it's saying it up in place. Okay. However, I can provide you the exact step-by-step up in place, and I would say this is really good. If you just go by the chat GPT I was talking about to you, right, and it kind of did the hallucination and gave me, and I for 2 hours I was literally struggling it up that to follow that instructions here, this respective thing are pretty accurate. Okay, since you mentioned North Virginia specifically, here are the details for it. Like, so it's giving me an information now, like what to do, which operating system up in place. Here it is, right? Instance type, key pair, etc., etc. Right? Okay. So it, in short, it cannot do the task. Correct. Okay. Let me give it another task, right? So another task could be, I would it say that, okay, if you cannot tell me to create the server, you cannot create the server by itself. It is just giving me the instructions. So if someone is very new to it, you follow the instructions, right? You will be able to deploy a server up in place. Okay, fine. Okay. Now I ask a simple another question from the monitoring. Now from the monitoring point of view, how many instance I have in uh, I would say how in, many instance I have in my AWS account. I'm saying in my entire AWS account, tell me how many servers are present. So I have in my AWS account. Okay. So let's see that what kind of response it gives up in place. Okay. Right. So it says I will check how many instances up in place. It's kind of checking it up, guys. Good. Otherwise, what will happen up is that it will take me a while. It will be taking up at least 5 to 10 minutes to figure it out how many servers are running it up in my AWS accounts up in place. Right. So see, it's gathering the information about in place from different regions, API, doing it by itself. So from that perspective, it's good from monitoring point of view in place, right? Yeah, across the region, I would say, Yukendra. I'm saying right now, that's the reason I told him in my entire account, not in a specific region. Okay? That's the thing. Yeah. Because we know that, see, in my particular account, so many regions we are having it up, like North Virginia, Mumbai, Seoul, all of it. So it's scanning all of them to give me an kind of an overview that do I have a server present in any one of it? So it's very, very good for me. Okay? So see that it's called all of them, North Virginia, EU West, right? Mumbai, all of it. Fine. So it scans upon it, and it says that based upon my check for your AWS account for all the regions, right? Okay. You currently have zero EC2 instance across all the regions up in place, right? Means no EC2 instance running it up. None of it has stopped. None of it has terminated. Terminated means for someone who is not aware about it means deleted. Again, a fancy name they have just given it up. Terminated means deleted, right? That should still show up in recent history up in place. So I don't have any server in my entire account in any of the region. So it's very good. So it means I will not be charged up in place because if I would be running up a server in any of the region, what will happen, guys? At the end of the day, I will be charged for that. Correct? So I get up a clarity that okay, man, you know what? I don't have any server running it up. Peace of mind. Okay, and let's test it out. Let's because I have told you AI models hallucinate. Correct? Let's test it. Let's cross verify that whether this particular claim that is being by this AI model is legitimate or not. Because this model can also hallucinate. Right? It's not like there is a kind of a guarantee from the Amazon that this will work perfectly fine. Because if you look it up here, somewhere down the line it will say that yeah, Amazon QR developer use generative AI, you may need to verify the response up in place, right? So, guys, why these things, these AI models, whether it's Gemini, Copilot, Amazon, anyone, they write this respective thing at the bottom that this respective generative model can make mistake. Please recheck. I thought initially that it was there to help us, you and me, but it's not. One of my friend who is lawyer, and he told me that it's to protect them from any kind of a lawsuit. Because now let's suppose exactly liability, correct, right? Let's suppose, for example, what actually happens if I used it up and it said to me that okay, Amit, you have zero servers, and it was incorrect information. Let's suppose two servers were running it up, but it tell me that okay, Amit, you have zero servers. Because it told me zero servers, I did not cross verify it, and again, let's suppose I was busy with my work. After a day or two, I get a huge bill. Let's suppose a bill of $200 because servers were running it up. I didn't do the cross check. Now, if I drag them to the code of law, They will say that, man, we already told him that at the bottom that please don't trust it blindly. There is going to be the problems, right? So they have not done it for to just make our life much easier. They have done for themselves to protect them from any kind of a lawsuit, right? That's the thing. Okay, great. So let's confirm it, right? As we looking into it, right, that whether it's zero or not. So here by itself, I just open it up into the new tab. And this thing, right, this Amazon Q is free of cost. So if you have an AWS account, it's free of cost. Okay. Now for doing that, I will go to the EC2. And here by itself, I have an option of EC2 Global View. This option will give me an entire overview of the EC2 service in my AWS account. Let me show it to you. This is normally what you do manually, and this is 100% accurate, right? So it will scan my entire account genuinely and give me a report that, okay, in my EC2 instance, in all the regions, how many servers are literally deployed up. Okay. So now if I just see it up, it has scanned all of it. And here by itself, if I just look for, let's suppose, an instance, not a VPC, instance. Okay, I'm looking for an instance. Instance, yep. See, there is no matching. Sorry, first of all, I need to define, I think, the region. Okay, let me do the global search. Okay, they have changed or what? Okay, so first thing you can look into it up here is that instance is there, server, right? And for every region, it's completely zero. But I can just do it up as well. Instance is equal to zero. And yes, right? I don't have the server in any of the regions. See that? This is the line for that. So it's completely true. That do I have any computer deployed in means instance or server deployed up any of the region? Nope, no. But storage is R11, networking is 399, and security is 58 for my entire account, not for just one region, for the entire account up in place, right? That's the case. Okay, so it means that this is something which I can rely upon. Fine. So this is what it is. It's called Amazon Q. Okay. Now, guys, let me take you to something else as well, right? So we are done with this respective part, the AI and all this kind of stuff into it. Now let me take you to the cloud ML in the AI ecosystem up in place, right? We already touched that. So we have now we are going to explore the machine learning services into the respective AWS part. So there are plenty of, I would say, machine learning services we have into the AWS. Some of them are like comprehend and SageMakers. Let's see that. Let me show it to you step by step and through practical as well. Okay, what they are. So first service, guys, which we have right now is called by the name of AWS Recognition. Let me show it to you that through practical. What that particular service is all about. AWS Recognition. What this respective service, guys, does is that it's an interesting service for, I would say, yeah, it's a very interesting service, guys, for identifying things. Correct? Let me show it to you. Here it is. Amazon Recognition. It's a very fantastic ML service. But keep in mind, these services which I'm showing it to you right now, they are chargeable. Okay, they are not free of cost. Correct? So use them a little bit wisely. Okay, so here it is. I click into Amazon Recognition. It helps you in recognizing things, right? So this is already a pre-established ML model from the Amazon. So it's deep learning based visualized analytics service. It performs search, verify, and organize billions of the images and videos up in place. That's what we have in the respective Amazon Recognition. Correct? Okay, let's try it out. In short, it tried to help you in some kind of a identification. Okay, that's the thing. Now here it is, and let's suppose, for example, I click into this particular part of label detection. One of some of the properties I'm showing it to you of it, it really does. In this respective case, an sample image is there. You upload an image, you can upload your own image as well. You can do that as well, drag and drop. Now, here by itself, if you look into it, there is an image, you see it up here. It is analyzing the image, right? The model is doing it by itself. You just did a drag and drop. And what it actually happens up is there, it says that, okay, uh, neighborhood, it says the percentage of accuracy. This is what it is, right? 99%. It looks like a city. 99%. There's a road. 99%. There's a street. There's a person, right? There is a car. There is a transportation vehicle, right? Machine. So see, all this information is there in place. So it analyzes this entire image and now providing it me all the information for that. Okay, this is what it's all about. So it's called the recognition part, and this is feature is label detection. You give the image, it analyze it up and give you a breakdown of that. Okay, now we have another feature which is called, I would say, image moderation, where we use it nowadays. If anyone is using up YouTube or any of these platforms up in place, any point in time there is a violent image, right, where there is violence or where is blood, right, or these kind of things are there, right, where is, there's a massive violence, extreme violence is there, the image get blurred, right, and there you see a respective small message that this image or the video is very violent in nature, right, press down to view it. So have you guys seen those kind of things? It's keep on coming it up in multiple different platforms, right? Or if anyone has ever used up any kind of an OTT platform like Netflix or any or Prime, they have a separate section, even the YouTube has well, for kids. Correct? Why do you think, guys? Why they did that? Why they have a separate section for the kids? Because exactly for the filtering of the content up in place, right? They don't want that the kid should be able to see something which they cannot process at this point in time, right, at this age in place, right? Yeah, definitely for sure when they become adults, they develop the brain for that, right, understanding the context and all this kind of stuff, then they can just go it up in place. But for a small kid, definitely for sure doesn't make a sense to see and watch it up, right? Okay, because he will not be able to understand what is going on in this respective part, right? And he can be misled and uh, he can be abused as well. Okay, so how do you actually use it up? Respective thing. Here it is, image modernization. This it does that in place. See, analytics up to 1,000 images at once with recognition image modernization. Okay, it kinds of analyzes the image 10,000 at a given time, and then what it do, this is how it really comes up in place. So you can integrate with your respective application as well. Your application, let's suppose like YouTube, is having humongous data. Okay, now you say that, okay, I am going to the kids section, that would be going through this respective image moderation, right? So any image is there or any video, any content is there which is harmful, violent in nature, right, or can be abusive, anything like that, correct, not appropriate for the kid, will be blocked up in place. So those kind of things you can do it up here, right? You can integrate with your respective application and you can moderate the content as well. Fine, this is the case. And then comes the facial analysis. It will analyze the respective face. This is also a sample image. If you want to do it up, here is your respective option to drag and drop. So upload or drag it up in place, and it will analyze. See, it's able to analyze it up that this particular image of a particular female, the emotion is it's smiling up, right? It's happier. She's wearing up a glass, appears to be female, right? That kind of thing. So it's this is called. That's why the service name. I hope you know got the point. It's called by the name of recognition. It's kind of recognizing the stuff, right? Okay. And based upon that, it will either moderate it, delete it, those kind of things it will do. Facial comparison is also there as well, right? You give the two different reference image and the comparison one in place, it finds that, okay, both of them are same. Fine. Okay. And if I just put up this respective two images, it says they are absolutely not accurate. And face liveliness, okay, celebrity recognition up in place, text, if you want to extract the text from the image, can do that as well, right? And it can analyze your respective videos as well. Okay, so this is guys what's called by the name of Amazon recognition, recognizing the respective stuff. I have not put up my own image or the videos into it, okay, because keep in mind it's chargeable. You will be charged for that, right? Okay, the charge can vary, but this is how it is all about. And in this case, guys, you does not need to train any model. It's already a fully trained model is there, and Amazon, as I mentioned to you now, is working really hard to level up their game of the AI to fine tune even further these respective AI models. Different models are there, AI and ML models, and to provide uh, the information with more accuracy. Okay, this is called the Amazon recognition. Now, there is, guys, another service we are having it up, which is called by the name of a transcribe. Let me show it to you. Amazon transcribe. And what it says, powerful speech recognition. Okay. So previously, if you just imagine almost, I would say 10 years back, many time when you go to the YouTube or many of the platforms, some videos used to very rarely used to have the subtitles. But nowadays, any video you pick it up, there would be, and if you go to the setting part, there you will be seeing an option of auto generate this thing up in place, right? Subtitle part. How it is really working up? Because previously what used to happen was that the creator used to first of all upload the video and then has to upload the subtitle as well. But now in today's world, that's not the case. You just upload the video, YouTube has the AI models, and it will automatically live, right, live caption we call it up as well. So immediately as a person would be speaking it up as well, immediately the subtitle will be creating it up with very good accuracy, I would say that. Okay, that's the thing. So similar kind of a thing technology we have here as well, which is called by the name of Amazon Transcribe. If you speak something, it converts it into a respective text. That's what it is all about. And you can use it up like to create up like your models with where the subtitle is needed up in place, right? Okay. I just show it to you. Yeah, Vishal, that's happening in up India as well, right? Right? Sometimes you're opening it up or kind of a Indian YouTuber video up in place or a short, right? And suddenly it is kind of you hear about it's like automatically getting converted into English, right? So yeah, that's happening up here as well. But that is the language part. That's the audio. We are looking for right now into the text format in place. Correct? Okay. Like let's suppose, for example, what actually happens up is there. Accent is there, very very important. Fine, let's suppose in the UK also you speak the English and the US as well, but the accent really matters up, and sometimes it becomes very difficult as well to understand what the individual is saying it up because of the pronunciation. But looking into the subtitle part in place, it really makes your life a lot easier when you do that, right? That's the kind of thing we are looking for. Okay, for audio part we have some different feature. Okay, here it is, automatically speech recognition up in place. And what it does, it converts your speech to the respective text. So whatever you say, it get converted in kind of text up in place, right? So let's go and let's create this respective transcribe. Okay, I'm going to say something here, and it will automatically, with high accuracy, it will try its best to fill it out here. Let's see that. Okay, the current language I'm choosing up English US. Fine, okay with me, and let me just use it up. Allow this time. Hello, my name is Amit, and welcome to the session of AI. Hope you all are able to understand what we are talking in this respective webinar. And we are performing the webinar. We are also performing up the demonstrations as well, so that it's become much more easier for you to understand what I am talking about. Whatever the practicals we are doing it, whenever you are free, you will be able to do it by yourself as well. Thank you. And this is it, right? I would say pretty accurate, right? Almost 96 to 98%. I see that there's some kind of places it has missed, miss, and punctuations and grammatical mistakes could be there in place, but I would say it's almost 97 to 98% accuracy. Right? Exactly what I have said, it has picked up in place. Fine. That's the thing. Okay. So this is what it is all about, the transcribe, and it's literally in the real time. It's doing that thing in place. It's not like I uploaded it, it analyzed it up, and then give the response. No, it immediately in the real time. Okay, this is called the respective service, which is called by the name of a transcribe. Now, I told you about something which is called by the name of a PII, personal identifier information. Correct? Now let's come back to that because now we are going to use it up, guys. Okay, when it comes to the PII, can we come back to the PII again, guys? Can anyone explain to once me again what is actually PII is all about? Any information which belongs to a person, sensitive piece of information, correct? Like house number, address, phone name, your text detail, right? Your insurance paper, your health record. That's what we have. Fine. Now, in this respective part, we are going to go ahead and we are going to enable an option of PII detection, right? And the moment I say anything related to my PII, like my home address, email address, card number, CV number, anything like that, it will perform something which is called data masking. How many of you are aware about this respective term, which is called, guys, by the name of data masking? So we do this respective, guys, the data masking to protect our privacy, right, and protect us from the unauthorized person up in place. Okay. Now let me do it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this respective text and I'm going to start something new. I'm showing it to you one thing that I will be putting a filter here. Okay. I will say start. I can download this thing as well, right? But I don't want that right now. Okay. I will start a new screen. Hello. My name is Amit. My phone number is 7433284889. My card number is 83844894484. My CV number is 7344822. Okay. So in this respective case, it has provided my phone number, my credit card information, my CV number as it is, right, in a plain language. But now when I go ahead and enable the option of PII, you see that what actually happens up. So what did you do? You scroll down, right? Okay, and here by itself in this thing which is called content removable setting, you are removing the respective content. Okay, I click into it. Here it says PII identification, right? Let's enable it. If I only perform identification, what will happen up, guys, in that respective case? It will only highlight it. When I say my phone number, it will only highlight it. That will not that's not data masking, right? Okay. I want to perform redaction as well. Redaction means that you can think about masking. The moment I say my phone number would be masked up in place. Like right now, you see it up here. In this case, you can easily see it up, right? Okay, right? This fake number which I mentioned up here, fine. But if I just say now identify and mask it, we'll see that, right? Identify and mask it. And what are the things it will be looking for? These are the things, guys. Like the moment I say about bank number, bank routing, credit card or debit card number, PIN, address, SSN, right, passport number, right? So these are all your PII, personal identifier information. Phone number, password, license plate, edit card, debit card expiry date up in place, right? So these are very sensitive piece of information. No one wants that these things gets leaked, correct? Because they can be used against you, right? Passport number is very important, address, right? So many things. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to again go back, right? I have enabled the option of identifying and redacting means uh, masking it up, right? So I go back here and start this respective streaming once again, right? The moment now I say about phone numbers, address, PIN, password, anything like that, it will automatically would be masking them up in place, immediate automatically. So I just go it up here, perform the streaming part. Hello, hello. My name is Amit, and my phone number is 834229. My password of my office email is 83amit at the rate 29. My PIN is 9972. My card number is 834832489. My CVV number is 48444428. This would actually happen, guys. Got it? Anytime now I said anything here by itself, it has automatically detected that and it masked it up. Got it? The name, the phone number, password, PIN, debit card, credit card, all these things up in place. Okay? This is called data masking. Now, can you tell me what the phone number I told up just a few minutes back? Even I don't know because it was just random. But okay, but looking into it, right? You see, this is what it is all about. And you can integrate these kind of things up in place with certain applications. This session is very short, so I cannot show you that how you can integrate actually that, right, using up the APIs and all this kind of stuff. But I hope this demonstration is giving you up an idea that these ML models really exist up in place. And in this case, you don't take does not need to take the headache of training and all this kind of stuff. Because when you're training the stuff, right, there is some other problems occurs up in place, like misconfigurations, hallucination happens up a lot. So you have to do the fine tuning part, right? If anyone is ever working with this ML model by itself. Okay, we are right now working upon the ML models which are already pre-trained by someone else, and we are just utilizing them up in place, right? Like a customer. That's it. Fine. So I would say that it's pretty good as well, right? In this respective part in the transcription one piece, and you can download the script and do a lot of things you can do it up as well. Okay, and keep in mind, but the moment I'm using it up, guys, this is chargeable. Okay, so whenever you're using it, keep in mind about this kind of things. Okay. Let me just tell you about another service we are having it up. I told you about recognition. I told you about transcribe. Now tell you about something another service we are having it up, which is called by the name of Poly. So let me go back. Leave the page. Okay. Another service which is a vice versa of this transcribe, which is called Poly. Amazon Poly turns text into lifelike speech. Okay. Let me give you an example of where these kind of things are actually used up. I hope I'm not sure about how it works up outside of India, right? But in India, particularly, if you are using any kind of an internet providers, right, like okay, whoever your ISP is, when your respective recharge of your mobile phone is going to get over, you get an automated calls multiple times just before few days back, right? Let's suppose today's my recharge is getting over in place on mobile recharge or talk time. So from 2 days, right, automatic calls start coming up in place to me that Amit, your recharge is about to get over. Please recharge, right? Your recharge is going to get over. How does that happens up? How does that automatic calls really happens up in the background? And I would say these automatic calls, I would say in today's world has become even more advanced. If I just tell you my own kind of a scenario, long back I just made like a transaction from my one bank account to the another one, like a big amount, and the money was deducted using up to the UPI. If anyone is aware about it, right? We use it up UPI. So what actually happens up? Money was deducted from my one account. Okay, it says that okay, money deducted, perfect. But the money never reached to my second account. It was never credited into it. I just contacted the bank, both the banks. They say that we cannot do from our end. You have to contact the merchant, and the merchant was PhonePe. In my case, I contacted them, and the moment I contacted the PhonePe customer care, the interesting thing happened in that particular case, I would say, is there was an automated call, and it was literally asking me, "What is your problem?" It was kind of a machine voice was there, and it was asking me. It was not saying press one, press two, nothing like that, right? And start asking me the respective question up in base. Yeah, definitely it asked me the language, in which language you're comfortable with, right? I selected that, and then a machine was literally asking me the question. I was hoping that I don't know what's going on, but I narrated my respective issue. It just listened to it for a while, analyzed it, and then the machine responded to my respective query, and that was really amazing. Because now normally what it actually happens up, you actually interact with a human being, but here a machine literally was listening to a conversation in real time and just giving you the options what you need to do up and placed. After a while, when I did have a conversation, I was very happy with that, right? How it turned out to be from my expectation, way, way better. But just for the confirmation, psychologically, I thought that okay, it's better that if I contact a human as well, right? So I still insisted that I want to talk with the respective genuine human being, right? A customer care person. And I talked to the lady and I just explained my problem. She also gave the exact same explanation. So this is how the automation calls are coming in place, right? The machine itself is understanding your respective queries and based upon that, giving you the respective suggestions in the real time and as per your respective requirement. It's not like a fixed world that they have just picked up and they are reciting in front of everyone. No, they are listening to your problems and giving you the suggestions based upon that. So it's very interesting. So similar kind of things we have in here as well in the poly. So if you're building up an application or something like that, the poly would be really helpful for you in that case. Let's see that, right? It turns your text into the speech. Let's see that, how it's done. Here it is. So right, you write your respective text, whatever you want, right here by itself, and it will narrate it. Okay, and different models are there: generative, long form, neural, standards. I would like to go with generative because I find this voice to be much more better. So I would be going with the respective generative option, right? Produce the most expensive and adaptive speech up in place. Language going to be English. And voice, I would say in my particular case, let's suppose I would say Stephen, male, right? You can change it up as well. So I would say, hi, I'm Stephen. I can read any text you type here. Test it out. And this is my AI webinar. Okay. We are converting the text into the speech, correct? And I would say this AI model is provided from the AWS, but we can create our own AI model as well. Fine. So whatever I've written up here by itself in this respective case, you see that what's going to happen up, this Stephen with the male voice will be reciting it up in the pronunciation is going to be English US, right? You can choose up Indian or South African or British or Australian. That's the thing. But I'm just using the US one in base. Okay. Here it is. And these are different, I would say, models, right? Some models you can think about for narration. Okay. I will go into generative one. Perfect. And okay, where it is. Yeah. Here it is. Now let's listen to it. See, this is how it is. Okay. So anything you put it up here as well, you can just change the same format, right? From Stephen, you can let's suppose, for example, to convert it into Matthew, right? It will do the same thing. Fine. This is how it is. Okay. Great. So this is something, guys, which is called by the name of a poly. Right? I hope you got the point with it. This respective service, which is called by the name of a poly. Okay. Yeah. Fine, everyone. Okay. And then we have, I would say, could not hear anything. You guys were not able to hear about any of this that I played up. Let me just try it once again, okay? Then let me know. Okay, so I'm just again doing it. This is kind of a context I have here. And now again, let me just find it out. Just a minute, right? Sound is there. Okay, microphone only this time. Okay, I'll not, yeah, please set the permission. I think it's perfectly fine, right? It should be, okay, let's try it on say, guys, okay? Okay. So this is what we have, guys, in this respective part about the Amazon Poly part. Fine. Okay, you can fine tune it and a lot of things you can do with that, right? Different models you have in place. I don't want to extend that, but you can play with it. So I would say that again, this is not free of cost. Anything we are doing it up today by itself in the AWS especially, it's not free of cost. Why I'm telling it, because many people ignore that particular point when it comes to the cloud part. That the cost is there. It's fine. So a little bit be cautious about that, guys. Okay, great. And yeah, another kind of a service we have, which is called by, like I would say, a lot of services are there. Another service I won't like to explain it to you, which is called by the name of a translate, right? So if let's suppose, for example, you want to build up your own kind of an application which perform the translation, you can rely upon Amazon Translate for that. So it takes the input, perform the translation here by itself, right? So it performs neural machine translation up in place and give you the respective output. So here we have in this respective part. So here it is. Now in the translation part, if you look into it, right, what it does, it performs real-time translation. So it's really, really good, right? And you put up your respective source in which particular language it is in, and it will be converting it up. Fine, that's the thing. So any language, like in this respective case, I would say that I would like to convert it into any language, like let's say Chinese. I have no idea what that is, right? How it, right, Chinese is, but let's see it up. So if I just say it, that hello, my name is Amit. And it's converting it that into Chinese, but I'm not sure whether it's correct or not, right? How accurate that is, right? But it's performing that respective thing in the real time. Okay, that's another like kind of a plus point we have into it, into the translate part in place, right? So it does real time translation to deliver on demand translation for the text that you entered into the document that you have uploaded. Fine. So this is guys what we have in this respective case. Okay. Now, at the last, another very last service we have, guys, which is called by the name of SageMaker. SageMaker is a little bit complicated service, so we will not be able to show it to you in the session right now, right? Sorry, guys, I was. Oh, sorry, I paused my screen. I think so. Here it is. I was telling you about where you write your respective message, define the target, and in real time, it is converting it up. Okay, that's the case. Fine. And now I just tell you about another service which is called by the name of the recognition. Sorry, SageMaker. Here it is. Amazon SageMaker. And what this respective SageMaker does, this thing. This respective SageMaker is there to create and train your respective ML model. So if you have any kind of an ML models up in place, this is the one you will be having it up. Okay? So this is the thing. Correct? We cannot perform the particular practical for that because it will be big and expensive, right? And it will be taking up a lot of time for the respective webinar. We don't want that. But at any point in time, you come across that, okay, if into the AWS you want to perform this respective thing of uh, training your own models up in place. You don't want to rely upon the pre-existing models. You want to train your own set of models up in place. In that case, you have a service which is called by the name of Amazon SageMaker, right? This is the case. Okay, perfect. Right. So just a minute, guys. Let me. Right. So now I hope everyone is aware about this respective SageMaker, guys. What the SageMaker is all about. It's a kind of a service which is there for the respective training and deploying of your respective machine models at scale in the AWS part. So if you don't want to use a pre-existing one, you can create your own. That's what we have into the SageMaker. Fine. Okay, guys. So, guys, now let's come back to let's look into some questions we have, right? So, one or two questions. So, this is the first question, guys. So, guys, if you look into this respective question, everyone over the screen, correct bean. Okay. The question says that which of the following best describe the role of machine learning in the cloud environment? Is it managing the physical data center manually? Nope, it does not do that. Automatic repeated IT task without the data? Nope, right? Analyzing and learning from cloud generative data to make predictions on optimized operations. Yes, right. I just mentioned to you that the AI models will be looking into your respect. Like today, we see that Amazon Q, correct? If I would have pushed it a little bit more, it will be giving me that, okay, Amit, you have a respective server. And if you want to increase its respective capacity, right? or as per the increasing demand, increase its hardware configuration from this T2 micro to something else. Okay, so it can do that. It can give me suggestions up as well. Okay, and D is hosting the web applications without servers. No, that's not the case. So C is the correct one. Okay, it will learn from my respective data what is going on in my particular AWS account, and based upon that can give me any suggestions up as well. Okay, right? This is the one. Now, guys, this is the another kind of a questions we are having it up in this case. The question says that which kind of a design help, which kind of service I would say help you in training your respective models in this respective part. Is it SageMaker? Yes. SageMaker is a service, keep in mind, into the AWS platform, which helps you in training your respective ML models and the AI models into it. Then there is into the B option, there is something which is called by the name of a CloudWatch monitoring up in place. So, well, like in my session when I teach the CloudWatch in detail, right? When I start from scratch for someone who has never heard about it, I say CloudWatch is like your respective. We can say that log monitoring, okay, fine. But in the log monitoring, then two services would be coming up: CloudTrail and CloudWatch, right? Because CloudWatch also collects the logs, CloudTrail also does that, right? I would say the better way of explaining it to be is that it is called resource monitoring would be even better, because CloudWatch is like your respective task manager, right? I hope everyone is aware about task manager. Let me show it to you, guys. If you understand this thing, tell me what is going in front of your screen right now. The CPU, the RAM, what it is telling the health of my system. This is my CPU, fine. Okay, is it anything looks suspicious in my CPU that it's not perfect working fine, or it's looking very like it's been compromised, something like that? It's look okay, right? So does my RAM. It's perfectly fine. My SSD, my Wi-Fi, right, packets, and both the GPUs, everything looks perfect. It means that you come to the conclusion looking into all these parameters that Amit's system is perfectly fine. That exact thing we do into this CloudWatch as well. CloudWatch is kind of your task manager for the server. It tells you how well the server is performing it up. Okay, what is the CPU utilization? What is the RAM utilization? What is this utilization? You get it from the respective CloudWatch, correct? And let's suppose if something is going wrong, let's suppose there's an attack into the respective server, the CPU utilization will skyrocket, correct? And you can see that into the graph actually, and you based upon that you can create the alert there as well, right? The incident and all kind of stuff you can do it. That's what we handle the CloudWatch part. Okay, and Bedrock is also kind of another service which we deal with in the AI part. And then we have the Lambda, which is for a little bit I would say serverless computing. Okay, so the correct answer is your respective SageMaker. Here it is. Now guys, let's move to the next question. Okay, in this respective case, what we have is that in a cloud native architecture, how does the AI help you improve the reliability in this case? By manually rebooting the server when needed? No, we don't say that. Okay. By predicting failure and automatically initiating healing and scaling actions, yes. And in the AWS, we have these services, like one of it is called by the name of auto scaling group, which sense that okay, you know what, new traffic is coming up in place, and based upon that thing, it will be kind of creating up new servers up in place, right? Okay, so B looks good. Then his B is monitor the static IP address. No, it has nothing to do with that. And disable the monitoring tool to reduce the cost. That will not help in any sense. Okay, so yes, B fulfills the respective requirement in this respective case. Okay, so there are already some kind of services, guys, we have in this respective part. Fine. So this is it, which is called by the name of respective like auto scaling group, right? So have you guys heard about something which is called horizontal scaling and vertical scaling? Like what that is all about? Fine. So that auto scaling group, which I'm mentioning it up into the AWS, that performs the vertical scaling. Yes, correct. Again, scale in, scale out, right? So auto scaling performs, guys, the respective horizontal scaling. Means the server with exact same configurations are created up in place. Okay, great, perfect. So this is what we have, guys, in this case. So if I look into it, and this is our respective correct answer.